Look, thank you, Deputy President. I'll shortly move the amendment in my name, but I just want to tie up, excuse me, on the matter that Senator Keneally and I have been exploring. I find it extraordinary that this appears to be the first that this has come to the government's attention. Has Home Affairs not been involved in the drafting of the government's response to coronavirus? I mean, seriously, there are people here who will be destitute, who will be unable to self-isolate because your government cut them off the SSRS, completely cut them off, basically threw them out on the streets at the mercy of the whims of fate, to rely on organisations in the non-government sector and in the charitable sector for their very survival. I urge the government to come to grips with a looming humanitarian and health disaster. I want to be very clear. That is what we are facing here, and I urge Minister Rushton and Minister Cormann and Minister Dutton, if he's at work or whoever's doing his job at the moment, to come to grips with this issue. While we're on visas, I also want to bring to the government's attention the fact that we, at any time in Australia, have a significant number of temporary visa holders, some of whom are in the categories that Senator Keneally and I have been raising in the debate in the last half an hour, whose visas will soon expire. There needs to be a mechanism that provides for the extension of the expiry dates of visas held by people who are on temporary protection visas that would expire during the period of the coronavirus crisis. I mean, this is not rocket science. This is actually Government 101. And I'm appalled and disappointed that these matters have not been addressed by government and apparently are yet to even be considered by government. So there's the two issues. One is income support for people who are on temporary protection visas, and two, for a number of people whose temporary protection visas will expire during the coronavirus crisis and who, through no fault of their own, won't be able to leave the country, need to have their visas extended. Otherwise, you know what's going to happen. You're going to chuck them all into immigration detention, which you so much love for people who have overstayed visas in this country. And by the way, while you're at it, you can free low-risk people who've spent more than 1 week in immigration detention, because if the coronavirus gets into immigration detention centres, and there's already been at least one Home Affairs guard who has tested positive, or sorry, I should say one guard of an immigration detention facility onshore in Australia that has tested positive to COVID-19. If that virus gets into those places, it will spread like wildfire, people will die, and their blood will be on your hands. My colleagues and I have spoken in our second reading. I'm sorry, Deputy President, if I could just ask for guidance. Did you wish to go to Senator Cormann's amendment now?
No,
or should
it still
I
hasn't
move?
been circulated. I just was giving you some. We'll do yours.
Yeah. So I'll move the amendment standing in my name on sheet 8916 revised, which provides that the legislative rules must require that the terms of any loan agreement to a guarantee granted to a financial institution under subsection 1 include a requirement that an SME, a small or medium enterprise entity to which a loan is made, not make any employee of the SME redundant for the duration of any guarantee granted to the financial institution under that subsection. And just to be clear here, this goes to the point that the Australian Greens have consistently been making today, whether it relates to big corporates, whether it relates to SMEs. The government should be getting some quid pro quo here while rather than just handing over cash willy-nilly with no guarantees in regards to employment. I mean, we saw Qantas were given a significant share of the $715 million that was given to airlines, and within days they had sacked 20,000 people. 20,000 people. What we keep doing is privatising the obscene profits and then socialising the significant losses, and we need to make sure that that doesn't continue.
Thank you, Senator McKim. Senator Gallagher. Yeah. I'll go to the Minister. Minister Cormann.
Thank you very much. The government will not be supporting this amendment. This amendment will make recipients of all healthcare cards eligible for the 2 economic support payments. Low-income healthcare cards are not traditionally eligible for one-off payments, and government has maintained this approach in this instance in order to facilitate timely delivery of the supplement.
Senator Cormann, we're dealing
8916, I was told.
with 8916 revised.
So as I
Mr.
was
Cormann.
saying, we're not supporting this amendment. In order to facilitate timely delivery of the supplement, the economic support payments are targeted towards those on primary income support payments, DVA, payment recipients and holders of healthcare cards who have received one-off payments in the past.